Welcome back this lecture, whereby we will see one of the other strands of radical feminism. We have till now seen radical feminism, liberal radical feminism, feminism of petty freedom, liberal radical feminism of petty freedom. We have seen existentialist radical feminism of Simone de Beauvoir. And the next type of radical feminism is socialist radical feminism, whereby socialists such as Shula Smith Firestone, Shula Smith Firestone, and Kate Millett give socialist account of radical feminism. Right? Shula Smith Firestone in her book Dialectics of Sex, and Kate Millett in her book Sexual Politics. Right? There is a difference between the socialist way of feminism and Marxist way of feminism. Right? To emancipate women, what do Marxists say? They say that they say that emancipate women, we should abolish capitalism. We should abolish capitalism. This is what Marxists say. On the other hand, socialists are against both capitalism and patriarchy. Marxist feminist or Marxist analysis of feminism does not talk about patriarchy at all, which is solved by socialists such as Tula Smith Firestone and Kate Millett, whereby they are against both capitalism and patriarchy. This is the difference between Marxist and socialist brand of feminism, whereby Marxist is only against capitalism and socialists are against both capitalism and patriarchy. Right? So by being virtue of socialist, by giving analysis in socialist lens, what they will say, they will bring out uh, this concept of Marx, this concept of class polarization and exploitative relationship between classes. Right? This class polarization and exploitative relationship with classes is analyzed by these two scholars, whereby they say there is there is inherently there is inherently exploitative relationship between patriarchal values and patriarchal bourgeoisie and patriarchal proletariat, whereby patriarchal bourgeoisie, what do I mean by patriarchal bourgeoisie? What I mean by patriarchal bourgeoisie is this, that the that the benefactors of capitalism, sorry, patriarchy, the benefactors of patriarchy, all that is male, all that is male, that is husband, father, son, right? All these classes in patriarchal system are being benefited. They are benefactors of patriarchy. That's why I call them patriarchal bourgeoisie, husband, father, and son. What we are studying is socialist radical feminist, whereby they give socialist analysis of feminism. They are against both capitalism and patriarchy. And how do we understand socialist feminist? By this concept of class polarization, right? Whereby they say that, whereby they say that there is one class which will eventually exploit the other. For which I say there are patriarchal bourgeoisie, the people who are benefited by patriarchy, that is male, that is husband, father, and son, right? And who will be patriarchal proletariat then? Who will be patriarchal proletariat? All that is female, right? Wife, mother, and daughter, right? Wife, mother, and daughter. This patriarchal bourgeoisie and patriarchal proletariat will have exploitative relationship between them, right? To explain this, what does Shula Smith Firestone say? Or sorry, what does Kate Millett say? She says that she says that the relationship between male female is like politics, whereby male will control female, where one group of person will control other. Explain this. Explain this. She says that in patriarchal system will control female, male will control female, right? And and they say that and they say that the exploitation of women, not limited to household. It is societal, right? It is societal. And the idea of Marxism is very much of the view that personal is not political. How Marxism is of the view that personal is not political? How it is? Because Marxism assumes that the exploitation that happens is on system level. The exploitation that happens is on political level. If the exploitation that happens is due to capitalism, on the other hand, socialists say that the exploitation is within home and in public sphere as well, right? So this was socialist feminist, and this were the differences between socialist and Marxist feminist. This is socialist feminist. This is Marxist feminist. Why I am writing the difference? Because there were questions on this. So the first difference is that socialists are against both both patriarchy and capitalism. Marxists are only against capitalism. Socialists say that personal is political, whereby exploitation happens in both household and in a capitalist system. A system wide exploitation also happens, and exploitation also happens in walls of household. Whereby Marxists say that exploitation happens only in system level, only in political sphere, only in system-wide level. That is why they will subscribe to the idea that personal is not political, right? So this was socialist radical idea of feminism. I hope you understood this, and I hope you understood this in comparison with Marxism, and how socialist feminists apply the concept of class polarization, male and female patriarchy, whereby there is one class male, other class female, and male will exploit female. Male are patriarchal bourgeoisie and female are patriarchal proletariat, right? To to change this structure of patriarchal bourgeoisie and patriarchal proletariat, what will radical feminists say? Radical feminists will say that we should fight against both. We should fight against both patriarchy and capitalism. And personal is political. What do they mean by personal is political? They understood understand the exploitation. The exploitation happens in both four walls of household and in big sphere. This was social socialist radical feminism. I hope you understood this. Now we'll jump to the third wave of feminism and the fourth wave of feminism, and to understanding the ideas of gender. understanding ideas of intersectionality, understanding ideas of eternal and essential feminism, understanding ideas of gender fluidity, right? All this we'll understand from next lecture. I hope this was to helpful to make you understand socialist radical feminism and continue with third way of feminism. Thank you.